I thought of sharing 10 things I wish I knew before I started my journey as an entrepreneur. I think knowing these 10 things would have mitigated a lot of unnecessary headaches and setbacks. But it's not going to be easy. You have to be passionate about what you pursue. And passion is not excitement, motivation, or hype. So the word passion is from the 12th century Latin word that means to suffer. I had a huge challenge with this one until very recently, actually. I had a huge challenge with being comfortable monetizing my products. And this was, it got me in trouble with my wife. And I know some people might not have this problem. In fact, most people have the opposite problem, which is they want money at all costs. And both are not good for business. But my problem was feeling bad for getting money for a product that I created. I felt I was greedy for gaining monetarily from my own creation. And as a result, I used to give away a huge percentage of our products. Or I simply wouldn't do a follow-up on late payments from customers. I'll just tell them, don't worry, you don't need to pay. Instead, you appreciate the fish on how it effortlessly flows in water, or a monkey how it seamlessly swings from one tree to the next. So equally, while it is important to look ahead where you are going, it's important to look back how far you've come. So as you continue with that, it will make a lot of sense. And being someone who has a dream or a vision can sometimes feel like you are speaking a foreign language, right? That's because most people will not understand when you try to explain your dream to them. And when you occasionally meet people, who have that dream, their dream as well, it's the feeling is unexplainable. Meeting other dreamers is just amazing. And the funny thing is, many dreamers or people with a vision tend to find themselves being entrepreneurs. That's because being an entrepreneur, it facilitates the realization of the dream or vision, but it's not easy. So I thought of sharing 10 things I wish I knew before I started my journey as an entrepreneur. I think knowing these 10 things would have mitigated a lot of unnecessary headaches and setbacks. So the list is in no particular order of importance. So at number 10, any business can succeed. I wish I knew that there is no one magical business that is guaranteed to work. Any and all business ventures can work if you choose one and commit to it relentlessly. There are companies that clean. That's it. They clean. And they're called cleaning companies. Some of them simply specialize in cleaning windows, only, just windows. Yet they are worth hundreds of thousands of rands, and they employ a great number of people. It almost doesn't matter what business you choose to go into. Any business venture has the potential to work. You've got companies that simply change tires and brake pads. They specialize on just that. And these companies, they are worth millions. And that's your Tiger wheel and tire, that's your Super Quick or Hearken. Or maybe another example that I can use is here in Durban, we get a lot of visitors from all over, from Joburg, Free State, Botswana, Zim, Eswatini, and they come and enjoy swimming in the beautiful warm ocean. And I've observed something when they leave. Many of them, they buy containers with seawater and sea sand from the vendors by the beachfront. And the funny thing is, they easily could have collected it themselves, yet they buy it. Why? To me, it shows that opportunities are everywhere for an entrepreneur. And obviously, these vendors are not making millions. However, the other entrepreneurs have taken the same concept and put seawater and sea sand in a tank and then add a few fish, and they sell the fish tanks for thousands of rands. So any business opportunity can make you lots of money. So unfortunately for me, I thought I had to look for that one business that would work. So I'd meet someone who had a successful business, and I'd think to myself, that must be it. That's the business that I should focus on. And I would leave whatever I was working on and I would move to that business. I kept doing this, and obviously with no result to show. So there is no one business that will make you blow up. Instead, you are the one who should make the business to blow, not the other way around. But it's not going to be easy. You have to be passionate about what you pursue. And passion is not excitement, motivation, or hype. So the word passion is from the 12th century Latin word that means to suffer. When they say the passion of the Christ, it's not the motivation or excitement of Christ. It's the suffering of Christ for us. So if you are passionate about something, it means you are willing to suffer all it takes to see it come true. At number 9, I had a huge challenge with this one until very recently, actually. I had a huge challenge with being comfortable monetizing my products. And this was, it got me in trouble with my wife. So I would give away perfumes, t-shirts, hoodies for free. And I know some people might not have this problem. In fact, most people have the opposite problem, which is they want money at all cost. And both are not good for business. But my problem was feeling bad for getting money for a product that I created. I felt I was greedy for gaining monetarily from my own creation. And as a result, I used to give away a huge percentage of our products. Or I simply wouldn't do a follow-up on late payments from customers. I'll just tell them, don't worry, you don't need to pay. And obviously they'll tell me how wonderful and a good person I was. I wish. For me, that was a great psychological challenge. And until I thought of it this way. So the first big project that God created by delegation to someone was a big yacht, aka Noah's Ark. If sold, it would have been worth a lot of money. Yet Noah did not put it for sale. In fact, when Noah was inviting people to come on board because there was a flood about to destroy the world, he did not sell any tickets. It was for free. Why was it for free? Because it was linked to saving people's lives and souls. But what about when he was on earth? Jesus was a carpenter, right? Do you think the project that he worked on were for free? I don't think so. Because they were not linked to saving people's lives or souls. He sold them the chairs, the tables. So Jesus monetized his creations as a carpenter because it made it possible to sustain himself, his family, and also allowed Jesus to give to the less fortunate. Even more importantly, it allowed him to get more resources to do this all over again. And obviously, the person who bought his creation gained a great product and they could use it because they needed it. So for me, looking at it that way, it made me free. And now I have no more psychological glitches. I can put a price tag next to my products without any reservations whatsoever. Because it allows me to take care of my family, to give to the less privileged, to get more resources, and to do this all over again. At number 8, keeping it in perspective. While in the pursuit of the dream, I wish I knew about the importance of keeping things in perspective. So you never judge a fish by how well it swims on trees or how well a monkey swims. Instead, you appreciate the fish on how it effortlessly flows in water, or a monkey how it seamlessly swings from one tree to the next. So equally, while it is important to look ahead where you are going, it's important to look back how far you've come. In most cases, when you are looking ahead, it's usually looking at how far ahead other people are, and that can lead you not being able to fully appreciate your own progress. So looking ahead is great, but glancing back at how far you've come gives you a much needed balance on your overall outlook of your journey as an entrepreneur. It keeps things in their proper perspective. Appreciate how far you have come relative to where you are. At number 7, debt. This is so important, yet it is possibly the most overlooked thing in entrepreneurship. I wish I knew how getting in debt isn't the most optimal solution to grow financially. I remember one time I was trying to get a loan to expand the clothing brand that we were working on at the time. And I had a conversation with Craig Duff, an extraordinary businessman. He's the co-founder of Varsity College and recently Newbridge College. amongst other successful businesses that he has gone into. He's worth millions, yet he greatly discouraged me from getting into debt. At first, I thought he's a white guy and he just doesn't want to see a black man succeed, you know. However, that wasn't the case. He later invited me to a business talk that he was giving to a group of entrepreneurs at the Durban Country Club. And he again advised the entrepreneurs from getting into debt. And this time he expounded on why he was against debt to grow a business. He had seen friends lose their families, businesses and homes because of debt. And I respected him for discouraging me not to play with debt. You see, debt is a drainer. It sucks whatever little joy you might have, whatever happiness you should have is taken away from you before you even experience it. The mistake many people make is thinking that debt is just a financial decision. The truth is, it overarches to other aspects of your life. It affects your health, your relationships. The list is endless. And this is mostly it's appreciated by the older, more seasoned business people. And that's because while we are younger, we are very foolish and we haven't walked the distance. So we haven't experienced life. And therefore, we think success is one-dimensional. But we don't fully understand success. We don't really realize that success is holistic. You can't be successful with lots of money in the bank account, yet your health and marriage is in shambles. I remember I used to serve this gentleman while I was working as a waiter at Cafe Java. We were watching a pod of dolphins swim by as I was serving him a cup of coffee. And he looked down at the coffee and noticed the complimentary biscuit. And he said, "You know, Swazi, I have everything that I've ever wished for when I was younger, and I have a very successful business. I drive a Mercedes C-Class, which is my dream car. My house is overlooking the ocean. But one thing that I neglected was my health." So pointing at the complimentary biscuit, he said, "If I eat this biscuit, within 2 hours, I'll be rushed to hospital." You see, health is so important, and many entrepreneurs don't recognize that debt leaves you operating under desperation. And once you are desperate and stressed, your creative juices dry up. And as an entrepreneur, you are a creative and you need those creative juices to flow. You see, desperation is not an asset that can be used to your advantage. You don't walk into a negotiation table and have desperation as your S card. Debt is a no-no. No matter how smart or wise you think you are, you can use fancy terms, you know, your OPM, using other people's money. That's very smart, but desperation will always outpunch your wisdom. Don't operate under desperation. There is a reason the good book says, "The blessings of the Lord make you rich, but they add no sorrow." Instead of going into debt, save money from your current job. And if it's not possible, partner with someone who has the funds. And I know it won't be easy, but if you find the right partner, you'll grow your business with. It will force you to be accountable to them, or simply grow as the demand for your business grows. There is no rush. Grow organically. Number 6 is never clear. I wish I knew that no one starts with a complete vision laid clearly before them. If this was the case, Mark Zuckerberg would have named his company Meta off the bat, not Facebook. But he didn't. Why? Because it evolves as they take it one step at a time. The dream unfolds as you unwrap it, meaning if you don't unwrap it, it won't unfold. And it might be that what you start off with isn't what you will remain in. Let's take Tata as an example. It started as a business in textile export. They later on added hotels, then steelworks and cement plants, and they moved to insurance. Then they entered aviation. They had their own airline, and then Tata Motors was introduced. Tata today, it owns Jaguar and Land Rover. Yes, meaning the Range Rover that we all love is owned by a company that started off in the textile exporting business. Start where you are with what you have and enjoy the journey as it unfolds before your very eyes. At number 5, appreciate your job more. I wish I knew this before I started my journey. Don't hate your current job because you think you should be focusing on building your own business. Appreciate your current job as it has the potential to assist and enable you to acquire the skills you will need in building your own business. Instead of hating your current job, exercise and sharpen your skill set. We are creatures of habits. If you cultivate bad habits, guaranteed you'll transfer those bad habits to your own business ventures. Imagine you're always coming to work late. Do you think you'll instantly upgrade and become punctual just because you're now operating your own business? So always hone your entrepreneurial skills within your current workplace and measure how effective you are. The good book says, be faithful in a little and you'll be made ruler over many. Wherever you are currently working, identify the business's weak points and propose solutions to strengthen those weaknesses. That allows you to have the experience of identifying and solving problems, which will be an asset when you eventually go full-time on your own business. And if you happen to be working in an environment that doesn't allow or permit you to put such inputs, just do it as a mental exercise. Identify and solve the business's weak points and just, solve them in your head. At number 4, I wish I knew this before I started my journey as an entrepreneur. If I had to ask someone what you buy from KFC or McDonald's as a customer or as an investor, you'd get a different set of answers. But essentially, it can be distilled into 3 things. As an investor, you're investing in proven systems and procedures. And as a customer, you are buying consistency. It doesn't matter where you are in the world, KFC will taste the same. And a customer buys that consistency. I wish I knew the importance of systems and procedures. Systems and procedures, they lead to consistency. In the early days of McDonald's, some people would invest in the McDonald's franchise and they would then introduce their own additional menu and also buy inferior products just to try and cut down on costs. And Ray Kroc, the man who bought McDonald's from the McDonald brothers and essentially made it what it is today, he immediately got rid of them because he knew the importance of consistency. Most companies have systems and procedures, but they are not as consistent in their implementations. Hence, a few franchises are as successful as KFC or McDonald's. In today's world, you can easily put systems in place, starting with simply downloading a free invoice app that will remind you of customers' late payments, or it could be an expense manager that you record your spending habits and you can track how you spend your money. Systems and procedures are very important as they lead to consistency. At number 3, resting. Imagine someone told you how wonderful their car is. It's the most reliable thing in this world. As a matter of fact, they tell you it's been driving for a full month without any oil. Can you imagine how strong and reliable the car is? They ask you. What would you say? If you care about that person, you'd tell them how crazy they are and you'd go on to explain how essential oil is to the car's mechanical components as it lubricates and allows them to work efficiently. And it's the same with you. Your body is designed to function in a particular way and it needs to recover and reload. And it does that by resting. In Japan, they have something called karoshi. It means death from overwork. It's such a phenomenon that you are more likely to see professionals and business people sleeping on the floors of train stations out of sheer exhaustion than seeing a homeless person sleeping on the train station. While your dreams are important, you also need to rest. Remember the gentleman who shared with me that he had everything except the health that he had neglected. If you've ever done any weight training to build muscle, you would have come across the importance of rest for your muscles to recover and grow. In fact, rest is so important that God knew how stubborn we will be, and He put it as a commandment. Imagine God commanding you to rest for your own good. Is that important? Jesus even said, man was not created for the Sabbath, but the Sabbath was created for men. And the formula is a simple one. Work 6 days and rest just 1 day. God knew why He commanded you to rest. So reload, recover, rest, then go after your dreams with more strength. At number 2, stick to one thing. I wish I knew the importance of focusing on just one thing until it shows results. So the grass always seems greener on the other side. But if you keep on stopping and starting different business ventures, you won't see any progress, and therefore you won't gain any traction. Imagine if you had a bottle of water that's 200 ml and you had 3 cups, each 150 ml. If you try to fill them up simultaneously, none of them will get full. But if you focus on just 1 cup, you'll be guaranteed that 1 cup will be full. Focus on one thing until it shows results. Don't lie to yourself and say you are diversifying. You don't do that at the foundation stage. Diversifying is for those who have walked the distance. Think of a baby that starts off with only its mother's milk. Eventually, gradually, other items are introduced. But if you choose to diversify and add fruits while the baby is days or weeks old, you will literally kill the baby. Even though fruits and veggies are very healthy for a grown-up, they are not for a newly born baby. Stick to one thing until it shows results. At number 1, this is a journey. I wish I knew that being an entrepreneur is a journey to be enjoyed. And being a journey, it means it has its ups and downs. When you hear stories of entrepreneurs failing in businesses, know that their low points were not just 15 minutes as the movies portray it. Some of them took 2, 3, or even 5 years. In those low moments, they might need to go back to square one. Don't be ashamed. The process is working on you. Diamonds are made from great pressure. Personally, I started my journey as an entrepreneur in 2019, and I've experienced my fair share of highs and lows. And as we speak, I'm on the down. So I went back to being a waiter. And guess what? I learned from every chapter of my life. Every season can be a blessing if you choose. So this is a journey. Don't allow the highs to define who you are. Equally, don't allow the lows to define who you are. I have no doubt of where I'm going. I'm enjoying the journey, and I hope this encourages you to keep on keeping on. I love entrepreneurship because it allows me to imitate God. So in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And as an entrepreneur, we also get to create as He did, and also provide jobs and help the less fortunate. We are created in God's image and likeness. We get to imagine and create as God did. That's amazing. In Ecclesiastes 10:10, the good book says, if the axe is blunt and it is not sharpened, it requires more strength to use, but wisdom has the advantage to give success. I trust that this has been helpful in sharpening your axe and assist you on your journey as an entrepreneur. Always know that you are created to be creative. This is Hearken Equip, and I'm your host, Swazi N. Remember, desperation always outpunches wisdom, and don't operate under desperation.